Have you ever carried a question so private that you never dared to say it out loud, even to your doctor? For men over 50, intimacy often comes with unspoken worries, changes in stamina, worries about performance, or silent doubts about what's truly safe in the bedroom. One of the most common questions I hear, often whispered with embarrassment, is this: "Doctor, is it actually safe to swallow vaginal fluids during oral intimacy? What about the taste, the smell? Is something wrong with me for even wondering?" Most men never bring this up, yet they search for answers online late at night or quietly compare themselves to unrealistic images from the adult industry. The truth is, these questions are not trivial or shameful. They are deeply tied to health, confidence, and the way couples connect in midlife and beyond. And ignoring them doesn't make them go away. That's why today we're going to strip away the myths and talk with honesty, science, and compassion. Because intimacy does not retire at 50. In fact, it can become even more meaningful if you understand your body, your partner, and how to keep both safe and fulfilled. I'm Dr. Julia Hart, a board-certified urologist with over a decade of experience helping men over 50 navigate the realities of aging, intimacy, and health. In my clinic, I've listened to countless men who were too embarrassed to ask these questions anywhere else. What I share here isn't rumor or internet chatter. It's grounded in medical science and years of patient care. I believe every man deserves honest, evidence-based answers, delivered with respect. Because when knowledge replaces shame, men not only protect their health, they regain confidence, strengthen intimacy, and rediscover that passion truly has no expiration date. After the age of 50, men begin to notice changes that go far beyond the mirror. Testosterone levels naturally decline. Blood vessels lose some of their flexibility. Nerves conduct signals a little slower, and the prostate can become enlarged. These shifts influence not only erections and stamina, but also confidence in intimacy. Many men describe it as if their body is no longer fully cooperating, even though the desire remains strong. In this stage of life, private questions often grow louder in the mind. Why is my performance different? Is it safe to explore new forms of intimacy? What if something feels unusual with my partner? Does that mean it's unhealthy? These concerns are real, and yet men rarely share them openly. Silence creates more doubt, and doubt quietly erodes connection. Take, for example, the topic of oral intimacy. For decades, it was considered taboo. Now, more couples in their 60 seconds and 70 seconds are discovering it for the first time. But with curiosity comes hesitation. What about the fluids themselves? Their taste? Their smell? Could they carry risk? Without clear answers, many men either avoid the experience altogether or approach it with anxiety rather than confidence. Here's the challenge. When a man ignores these worries, they don't disappear. They simply undermine trust, closeness, and pleasure. What should be a source of connection becomes a source of stress, and that stress reinforces the physical difficulties men already face from hormonal decline, circulation problems, or prostate changes. That is why we must talk directly and openly about this issue. Only then can men reclaim not just the mechanics of intimacy, but the deeper joy and security that comes from knowing their body and their partner are safe and healthy. When men ask whether it is safe to swallow vaginal fluids during oral intimacy, they are really asking two things. Is my partner's body healthy? And can I trust this experience without fear? The answer requires both science and honesty. Let us go step by step. 1. What vaginal fluids really are. Vaginal lubrication is not random moisture. It is a carefully designed biological system that protects, nourishes, and prepares the body for intimacy. 3 key sources create this fluid. The Bartholin's glands at the vaginal entrance release a silky liquid to reduce friction. The Skens glands near the urethra, sometimes called the female prostate, add fluid during arousal and can contribute to female ejaculation. Finally, the cervix provides mucus that helps maintain balance, even beyond the fertile years. Together, these fluids make intimacy comfortable and protective rather than harmful. 2. Taste, smell, and natural variation. Just as no two men smell the same after exercise, no two women have identical fluids. Hormones, hydration, diet, stress, and medications all influence the taste and scent. Pineapple, citrus, and hydration often make fluids lighter or faintly sweet, while garlic, alcohol, and coffee can create stronger notes. Around ovulation, fluids may be more neutral. Near menstruation, a faint metallic trace is normal. After menopause, lower estrogen can shift acidity and quantity. The point is simple. Variation is natural, not abnormal. A change does not equal shame, it is simply information. 3. When to pay attention. Sometimes a taste or smell feels unusual. This can reflect harmless factors such as sweat or clothing, but it can also signal common, treatable conditions like yeast infections or bacterial vaginosis. Both are frequent, both respond well to treatment, and neither should be hidden in silence. The danger is not the condition itself, but the shame that prevents couples from addressing it together. A man who reacts with disgust or withdrawal deepens the wound. A man who responds with care, suggesting medical evaluation and support, strengthens intimacy. 4. The question of safety. For healthy couples, swallowing vaginal fluids is generally safe. The fluids are made mostly of water with amino acids, enzymes, trace minerals, glucose, and lactic acid ingredients the body naturally produces to maintain health. In fact, they pose less risk than everyday acts such as kissing or sharing utensils. But safety always depends on health status. Fluids, like semen or blood, can carry sexually transmitted infections. Chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes, trichomonas, and HIV are all possible. Though the likelihood varies, the risk is greater when one partner has an untreated infection, and even more so if the receiving partner has open sores, ulcers, or bleeding gums. 5. How to protect yourself and your partner. Wisdom in intimacy means taking practical steps without killing romance. Step 1. Talk about sexual health and testing. This is not mistrust, it is partnership. Suggest getting tested together, it builds connection, not distance. Step 2. In new relationships, consider barriers like dental dams until both partners know their status. It may sound clinical, but in reality it communicates care. Step 3. Make testing routine. Just as men over 50 check blood pressure, cholesterol, and prostate health, STI testing can be a normal part of health maintenance. Twice a year is a sound standard. 6. The deeper meaning of acceptance. Beyond biology, there is emotional significance. When a man embraces his partner fully, without flinching at her natural fluids, he communicates a message more powerful than any technique. I accept you completely. Many women carry quiet insecurities about scent, taste, or bodily changes. A partner's acceptance can heal that silent shame. And when a woman feels safe, desired, and free of judgment, her arousal deepens, her capacity for pleasure expands, and the relationship becomes more fulfilling. 7. A real patient story. A man in his 60s once told me he panicked after intimacy with a new partner because his gums were bleeding. He feared he had exposed himself to HIV. We arranged testing for both, and the results were negative. More importantly, the shared act of testing brought them closer. They spoke honestly, trusted each other more, and felt freer in their intimacy. This illustrates a vital truth. Safety is not the enemy of passion. Safety builds trust, and trust intensifies passion. 8. Common misconceptions to correct. Some men think avoiding oral intimacy after 50 is safer. In reality, avoidance often comes from fear rather than fact. Others waste money on unproven supplements or pills online, hoping to mask insecurity instead of addressing the root. What truly matters is understanding physiology, taking responsible health steps, and building confidence through knowledge. That confidence is more powerful than any quick fix pill. 9. Practical advice for men. If you are concerned about taste or smell, encourage your partner to hydrate and eat fresh fruits and vegetables. Share a shower together before intimacy. This not only refreshes the body but also adds playful closeness. If something seems off, suggest a medical check with kindness. Make it a team effort, not a judgment. And remember, intimacy is about connection, not perfection. 10. The core message. So, is it safe? Yes, with healthy partners and wise precautions, vaginal fluids are safe. Is variation normal? Absolutely. The real danger is not the fluid. It is silence, shame, and fear. By replacing those with science, communication, and compassion, men can discover that intimacy after 50 is not only possible, it can be richer, freer, and more deeply satisfying than ever before. Let me be clear. Nothing I've explained today is a magic switch. Confidence in intimacy, especially after 50, does not transform overnight. Your body deserves patience. When men begin to replace fear with knowledge, the change happens gradually. Anxiety softens, trust deepens, and performance improves step by step. For many of my patients, it takes several weeks to feel the difference. At first, simply having open conversations with their partners reduces the silent pressure. Soon after, they notice more ease, less tension in the body, more natural arousal, and less distraction by self-doubt. By a few months, intimacy often feels lighter, freer, and more connected than it has in years. One man in his late 50s told me, "I thought passion was behind me, but once I understood the science, and once my partner knew I accepted her completely, it felt like we started a new chapter." His story is not rare. This is the hope I want you to carry. Your body is still capable of recovery, of resilience, and of joy. Intimacy after 50 is not about chasing youth. It is about embracing maturity, wisdom, and deeper connection. If you give yourself time, stay consistent with healthy practices, and keep communication open, you will discover that passion truly has no expiration date. Even though today's focus is on intimacy and safety, we cannot ignore the foundation that keeps a man's body resilient after 50. Intimacy does not exist in isolation. It is built on daily health choices. That is why small, consistent habits matter. First, hydration. Adequate water intake supports circulation, balances hormones, and even influences the taste and comfort of bodily fluids for both partners. Aim for steady hydration throughout the day, not just in the evening. Second, nutrition. Diets rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and lean proteins provide the antioxidants and minerals needed for vascular and hormonal health. Pineapple, citrus, and berries, for instance, not only refresh the body but may subtly improve how intimacy feels and tastes for your partner. Limiting excess alcohol, processed sugar, and heavy fried foods reduces inflammation and fatigue. Third, movement. Gentle exercise, brisk walking, stretching, yoga, or light strength training keeps blood vessels flexible, improves testosterone balance, and enhances endurance. A body that moves daily responds better in the bedroom. Fourth, stress control. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which directly undermines testosterone and desire. Practices like deep breathing, meditation, or even shared laughter with a partner calm the nervous system and restore balance. Finally, sleep. Quality sleep restores hormone function, stabilizes mood, and primes the body for both intimacy and recovery. Together, these habits make the key solution sustainable. They are not complicated, but when practiced consistently, They create the environment where passion can thrive well into your later years. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever carried a private question about intimacy but never dared to ask? What worries have you kept silent, whether about performance, safety, or how your partner's body responds? Share your thoughts in the comments. You may discover that your story helps another man feel less alone. If this conversation has opened your eyes or given you reassurance, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, Men's Health Secrets. Here, we speak openly and scientifically about the topics most men only whisper about. From prostate health and testosterone to circulation, stamina, and intimacy, we cover it all, with evidence and compassion. And if you know another man, perhaps a friend or brother, who could benefit from this knowledge, share this video with him. You may be giving him the confidence and clarity he has been searching for. Remember this: your best years are not behind you. Intimacy after 50 is not the fading of passion. It is the deepening of it. With science as your guide and openness as your strength, you can rediscover a vitality that feels both grounded and free. So drop a comment, subscribe, and let us continue building a community where men take back their health, their confidence, and their joy in every stage of life.